welcome to Sheltering with Swami. I'm Swami Chaitanya.
I'm Nikki Listretto. And wait, we got a special guest today.
Special guest is Frisco.
You probably never met Frisco
Frisco's
Kitty.
usually quite shy.
Frisco's a shy.
Even when there's a party, he doesn't come out much. But now, when we're all alone, he's kind of around a lot.
He wants to say hi.
Now, Nikki said we wanted to talk more about the music scene in Goa. And, it started out with just people having full moon parties on the beach with some Goa.
And that was all acoustic music, they had electric guitars,
people
drum
bought
sets.
these little traveling, amplifiers and so on. But it was
like
very,
old bands,
very
rock and roll
funky
bands.
And they were all jam bands, right? There was nobody.
Yeah.
But then there was always the rumor that the Rolling Stones were going to come and play too. And they actually did go to Brazil one year. So, and Brazil's Portuguese colony, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, it was always and not the Beatles, because I guess by that time they'd already broken up and so on. So anyway,
no, they were up in Rishikesh. But anyway, besides that, it was started off as just these very simple not so simple. People would dress up in crazy costumes, whatever they could get together.
Right. And they decorate the palm trees, day glow and light painting and so on.
And just have big parties, and the ladies would come out and serve tea at they'd set out mats, and there'd be little chai
Loca Goa ladies, yeah.
And those were famous. They became kind of famous amongst the whole community of people, because the Goa family is actually worldwide. It's people also from Amsterdam, from San Francisco, from Ibiza in Spain, from
Berlin,
from
Portugal,
South Africa,
from Japan, a lot of people from Japan,
Russia
Australia,
now, lots of Russians,
all over. So Goa is really an international community, and once you're really part of that family, it's like still today, if I were to, head off to Berlin or something like that, with just a couple of phone calls, that I'd probably have some friends that say, oh, why don't you stay here for a day or something, or, so on and so forth. So it's very much an international community.
It is. And it all started with getting high and dancing and having simple times on the beach, eating very simple food, and learning how to have a whole other lifestyle than, we may have been hippies in wherever countries we came from, living in communes. But in Goa, it was another experience, because this was really being amongst the elements in a whole new place with culture that was completely new, and adapting to that, and also discovering the whole Hindu tradition.
We're going to talk about the music.
Well, it is all part of the music, because, the dancing.
Well, the dancing. But see, the thing is that what really happened in India, in Goa, was the development of what became known as Goa trance or Psy trance, and there were a few DJs who had these really outrageous tracks coming from Europe. And who was it? Lorenzo?
Lorenzo.
Or Laurent? We don't know all the actual names. Our great friend Goa Gill, of course, was one of the originals. And the thing is that they would play these parties, these DJs, and they would start at 1 a.m.
Oh, and what makes Gill special, though, is, of course, he started off as being just one of the guitar player guys in a rock and roll band, and was turned on to trance music. And it was actually more of that German beat, I guess, in the beginning.
Right.
And then they brought it down, and it was sort of the realization that with doing a DJ doing psychedelic trance, it could go all night.
Well, and there were no break when one brand broke down and another brand came on, and so they go right through the night into the morning. And then Goa Gill, of course, became famous for playing for 24 hours straight himself alone, right? But still in all, there would be other parties that would have several DJs. And, of course, the good set was to get the sunrise set and stuff like that. And, people would go home and come back. But it was crazy. You'd hear about the party tonight. And then you'd hear it across the rice paddies under the palm trees. And where's that party? Is it down at the beach?
What you'd hear would be this boom, boom. Actually, you'd be asleep. You'd go to sleep at, say, midnight. And at about 12:30, all of a sudden, you'd hear boom, 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 and that would mean that there's a party.
But that's way too slow.
And
boom, 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 boom. But you're trying to find where it was, because it would bounce off the palm trees and so on and so forth, and you'd run around, where's the party? Where's the party? And then by the time you found it...
He does it with the accent.
Right. Well, there were so many English people there and English DJs and so on, so... And then, you just end up, and then when the party was over, sort of like about 11 or so in the morning, noon, when it got really blazing hot, everybody'd head to the beach and take a dip and then go take a nap or something like that.
Yeah, because the parties spread out. They started out mostly on the beach, but, by the time it was the 80s, the 90s. The 90s is when the psytrance really took off. Actually, mid 80s, we would say.
But it was really heavy in Goa by the mid 90s, when in fact there were like one week, there were like 6 or 8 weeks, there was a party every 2 to 3 days. Yeah. It was unbelievable. And I tell you, there were some people walking around like zombies. They'd taken so much acid and so on.
Well, you could just kind of keep going. You know,
you never had to stop.
Just keep dancing, and everything you hear makes you want to move.
See, the whole lifestyle that Nikki was alluding to before in Goa was that most of the houses didn't really have running water. So you'd have a well, and you'd have to carry a big jug of water, and you'd put it by the sink. They didn't have flush toilets, so there'd be an outhouse in the back. And
that's a whole other segment.
That's a whole other story about the outhouses that were cleaned out by the pigs. But all of that was a different way of living, and some places didn't have a lot of electricity, or the electricity would go off for several hours a day. But by the time, we'd been going there over and all the hippies for over 15 or 20 years, people started to settle in. So you'd get whole houses that you would rent. You'd rent them for the whole year, and you'd have a refrigerator and a gas stove and so on, and you'd keep your furniture, and you'd have all your pots and pans and everything. You'd come in, and in a week or so, you'd be set in. You could stay for 3 or 4 months. And what would it cost? $700 or $800 for the whole year rent?
Oh, it was even much less in the beginning.
In the very beginning,
Anyway, we got the time constraints again. I think Swami and I should put on some Goa trance right now and do a little exercise and dancing here around the house.
All right, anyway.
And I recommend you do too.
All right, have fun and carry on and keep dancing. Om Namah Shivaya.